You've got dreams, deadlines, and maybe a little bit of chaos, and we've got you. This is Fearless Journeys, Thriving on Campus, the podcast that keeps it real about what it's actually like to be a student today. Think stress hacks, study tips, awkward roommate moments, and mental health check-ins. Because thriving isn't about being perfect, it's about being brave enough to keep going.
We could have a sing-along. No, not going to happen?
No.
Oh.
I don't want that out on the internet.
No?
No.
What's your favorite song, by the way?
I don't have a favorite song. I usually like a few.
A few songs, a few favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite singer?
Also
a few. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I can't narrow it down to just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to talk about today?
We are talking about midterms.
Yay, right?
Yeah.
And kind of, when somebody says midterms, it kind of makes you freak out a little, makes you think, oh no, it can't be that time already.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it kind of sneaks up on you.
Mm-hmm,
It
definitely.
happens so fast.
It is. So we'll talk about some tips around anxiety in midterm today, how to cope with it, with anxiety, and we'll see where we can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned, everybody. Here we go.
Let's jump into it.
Sure.
Steve, tell us about your own experience with midterm stress.
Oh man, midterm stress is so long ago, but I remember whenever I've done tests, I used to take the hour before and just cram.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get as much info into my head as quick as I can and hopefully retain it for the next hour and a half while I'm doing my midterms, right? So yeah, it's definitely very stressful.
Yes.
Definitely. What about you?
Yeah. It varied throughout my post-secondary experience.
Yeah.
I think there were times where I had really good notes and I would review them ahead of time, the night before for sure, and probably stay up later than I should have.
Yeah.
But still prioritize sleep because I think I knew still back then that sleep was important.
Yeah.
I wouldn't remember the information if I didn't have a good sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to cover that actually later.
Yeah.
Talk about
and
that.
then I would review my notes quickly in the morning and kind of refresh my mind, but also make pictures in my mind almost of my notes pages.
Oh, yeah. A little visualization.
So that I could pull that up when I was writing.
And I think we talked about that at one point. You're quite a visual learner. Somewhat.
Yeah, I can't just hear the information. I have to physically write it down, practice it, visualize it.
Yeah. Well, I think, as learners, we call ourselves, I'm an auditory learner, I'm a visual learner. But realistically, if we use all of them, it's so much better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and we have, like anything else, strengths.
Yeah.
So there's ones that maybe we gravitate towards are a bit easier for us. But like you're saying, all of them can be beneficial in some way.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think about anxiety and kind of this post-secondary idea around, tests and the context of academia and stuff?
I think it's common.
Yeah.
And for lack of a better word, normal.
Yeah. Right? I mean, everybody who's going to write a test is going to be
There's that
somewhat
stress,
anxious.
that anxiety. Will I remember the information?
Yeah.
Will I get the marks I need to move to the next step or whatever it is?
Exactly.
So I think that's normal. That lots of people experience that.
And so if you have anxiety in a test, what does that look like for a person?
I think maybe those racing thoughts.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe our breath rate increases, like we're breathing a bit quicker. Maybe our heart rate's pumping a bit faster. We're getting sweaty.
Yeah. A little stomach ache kind of thing.
Yeah,
Headache
stomach ache,
sometimes.
headache, muscle tension.
Definitely.
Even just like those thoughts, like what is that information? What do I need to remember? And just like on repeat, continuing, worrying about what's to come.
Yeah. And oftentimes it kind of leads you to kind of that freezing aspect, right? I don't know what to do, so I'm just not going to do anything. So, and we tend to put things off, and then it gets to be exam time. So scary.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely.
Well, and often students have more than one exam at a time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
put off, and then everything's happening all at once.
Midterm week,
Yeah.
right? So you've got 3 or 4 exams to do, right? I look at it as kind of, your brain during midterms is about 10% knowledge and about 90% screaming inside your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds like an accurate representation.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at some triggers, some typical midterm stressors. What would that be for you?
I think the short time frame, the time pressure to get to learn all the information, retain it, and then in that exam, share what you know.
Yeah, yeah. How about fear of failure?
Yeah.
I see that a lot, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of talk about how you need certain grades to get to the next level of your education or to get a good job when you're done. So there is that fear of failure. Like if I fail this one exam, then I'm not going to be able to pursue the goals that I'm working towards.
Yeah. And really, what is failure? I mean, it's really
it's learning.
It's a concept that we put on ourselves in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Because we all have a different definition of what failure is to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, that ties into, perfectionism and such.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to get those 100% marks. Yeah.
Oh, and in high school, that was where I was at. If I didn't get 100%, man, life was over.
Yeah.
It was tough, right?
That would be. Yeah. That's a
lot
really
of anxiety.
High standard to hold yourself to.
Yeah.
And then thinking, it's not possible to be perfect.
I come close.
We can still get 100%,
Yeah.
but that's not necessarily perfection.
For sure. And really, I tell students these days, what's the difference between an A+ and a C+?
Exactly.
Right?
Well, yeah, ultimately, if you're passing, if you're learning, you can get that degree.
Yeah. Nobody's going to look at your transcripts when they hire you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oftentimes, I used to compare myself to others too, especially when my grades started dropping, and then I started comparing myself to those who were successful.
Yes. Yeah.
In grades. It's tough. What about, some real-world examples? Say a student failed a midterm last semester, and now they kind of panic with every test.
Yes.
And what does that kind of show us?
A pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost a traumatic stress response in a sense, right?
Yeah. Well, and getting, like we just talked about, that time pressure, that fear of failure, that perfectionism, getting stuck on that one point in time where we didn't do what we expected to do.
Yeah.
And then really focusing on that instead of focusing on the other times that we did well.
Right?
Yeah.
You could write 6 perfect tests and then write a bad one, and what do we focus on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. What about a professor who hasn't given any study guides or practice questions, and you don't know what the exam's going to be like?
Yeah.
That definitely would cause a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, and I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
But as long as you are doing your studying and reading your textbook and doing what you can, hopefully you will retain the stuff for the exam.
Yeah, and there's some tips coming that we'll talk about on how we can kind of combat that a little bit. But really, we're looking at normalizing anxiety a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like you said at the start, it's common.
It's common. Yeah. A lot of people experience anxiety. Yeah. And it is one of the emotions that people have that comes up. And it's not a lot of times, because anxiety is a diagnosable mental health condition.
True, yeah.
People have this idea that anxiety is bad.
Right.
Even in that sense. Not bad, just affecting a person's life in negative ways. Yeah. But we can also experience anxiety, and it's not a mental health condition. It's just a really uncomfortable emotion.
Yeah, exactly. and emotions can be uncomfortable.
Yes, yeah. Definitely. And that's I, as you well know, Steve, love emotions.
You do.
And
I hate
talking
them.
About them because everybody has them.
They do.
And if we have a better idea about them and what to do with them, then we're less likely to get stuck. In them.
Yeah.
So
and we find too, with the anxiety, it does bring those emotions, and there's lots of ways to manage emotions. And that's, I
think that's the most important part is yes, anxiety is uncomfortable. Yes, it is something that we don't want to experience. But if we find ways to manage it, to move it, to work through it, then we're not going to get stuck in it. And then it's not going to become a big thing for us.
And hopefully healthily. Is that a good
Yeah.
word? Healthily manage those emotions and not unhealthily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go back to English class.
Well, we're helping professionals for a reason.
That's right. That's right. So right now we have a guest with us, Adrian Allen. He was with us once, I believe it was on international students, I think, or multiculturalism. What was it? Do you remember?
Not coming to mind at the moment, but I believe it's a mixture of the two.
Yeah, I believe something like that, eh? Well, welcome back. Tell us just a bit about who you are and what program you're in and kind of what level you're at right now or what year you're in right now.
Okay, so my name is Adrian Allen. I'm currently a second-year student in the Criminal Justice Policing Diploma program at Lethbridge Polytechnic, and I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. So we're talking about anxiety during midterms, which always brings anxiety to students. How are you feeling this fall with midterms?
Okay, in a second-year student perspective, a new second-year student perspective, when I hear about upcoming midterms, a wave of emotions and question appears in my mind. Am I ready for this? Have I applied consistent studying?
Right.
Have I grasped special concept that instructors told me to prioritize above other questions because of its complexity? Basically, have I put in enough hard work to be able to attain a 100% grade, which everybody wants for the exam,
Yeah, everybody wants to have that
everybody
perfect,
wants
right?
that for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely. How does the anxiety feel like? I guess, in a sense, you obviously you have, even during second year, you have anxiety.
Yeah.
How does it actually feel in your body? Like, where do you feel it the most?
The butterflies in your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Popular phrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anxiety, it just feels like nervousness for me because, prior to midterms, the average person is usually, nervous because we don't know what's coming on the exam. We don't know how our instructors are testing us.
Right.
It could be indirectly related to the material just to see if we're thinking outside the box. You know? So that's what anxiety feels like for me.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing with midterms is we just don't know where the instructor's going with the exams for sure. What do you think your biggest stress is with midterms? Are we like, it might be your expectations or time management? What would it be now?
It would be the heavy assignment workload.
Oh, okay.
So with midterms, the instructors, they're piling you with assignments, course materials, and other, study materials that you can use to prepare yourself overnight for the exams. At this time, especially before midterms, the instructors, they prep you, they give you a lot of material, they send you a lot of notes and everything from, courses that we have been learning, all the things that we have been learning and other study material. And, I appreciate the extra mile that the instructors are going out of their way to, do to ensure we're equipped for exam. But, they should consider the overburden of course material as it can affect students both physically and emotionally and mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes the instructors just need to push all that information out and they don't sometimes realize there's 4 instructors doing the same thing, right? Absolutely. So a lot of pressure on the amount of information coming out.
Yes.
Sure. What would you say is one thing that might help you stay calm during midterms?
Okay, so there are a lot of on-campus resources that students can access to combat this. One such is the Learning Cafe. They have an amazing team of writing specialists, academic writing specialists who will help you in your writing, help you to improve your writing, your APA formatting. And you also have the Dropbox where you can submit your assignments in advance and then a team will review your assignments and give you constructive feedback on how to improve. So those are some of the resources that I've used myself.
Yeah, definitely a great resource to use. What about peer support? Do you get together with your peers and kind of study together?
Well, for me, I don't I've never done that since I've been on campus. I've tried to find a quiet room and I have my laptop in front of me, and then I try to play sort of a background music, maybe like an aquarium kind of music thing on YouTube, and then just use that as a form of meditation while I study. But over time, during my years in college, my future years in college, I will try to adapt to the peer support, meeting with your peers and then, going over course materials.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip. Just having that silence.
Yes.
And having some background music. I think a lot of students really do use that technique and have some calming effects for sure. So that's a good strategy that helped. Have you come across any things that kind of accidentally helped? Something you didn't think maybe, hey, this, something you've never thought of, but hey, this does help me study kind of thing.
Yes. So I recently sat a psychology course, and it was actually my second attempt on the psychology course, and the instructor mentioned using like meditation music and so for improved studying. Yep. And over the course of some nights that I was studying, while I was reading my psychology textbook, I had meditation music playing in the background, and that has consistently helped me to, focus my mind, get ironically in the frame of mind for studying. And since I have done that technique, there was slight improvement in my exam grades. So that helps me.
That's really cool, because I think our instructors really do know that there are some things that they know what tips are out there, right? I think it's a good resource to reach out to your instructors and find that information. Have you ever tried something that didn't help, though?
Not coming to mind at the moment.
Yeah.
But if this counts, don't do cramming.
If what?
If this counts, don't do cramming.
Yes, cramming, exactly, yeah. We do talk about that for sure a lot. Cramming is not a great way to retain information. Absolutely, yeah. So if you could go back to your first year self or to another first year student, what kind of advice would you give them about midterms?
Midterms are no joke. This is college. It's not elementary. It's not basic school. It's college. You're an adult, so you have to take responsibility for your courses. The instructors are not going to run around you like kindergarten, like your kindergarten kids and say, "Oh, you need to do this. You have to be top of your A game." Use the campus resources that we have talked about. Speak to your instructors during their office hours, because they have office hours and they are able to help you with, your struggles in the course that you have, and, give you some other on-campus resources if they're unable to help you. Just reach out to your instructors, find constructive time that you don't have anything to do, and just study. Just review course materials, It really helps.
Yeah. And I think oftentimes students don't have those skills yet, right? Especially as first years. So building those skills right in your first year, I think is a really good way to go. I mean, like you said, it's not elementary school, it's not high school. Things are quite a bit different when we're talking about post-secondary. Absolutely. So all that is great. Do you have any final comments you'd like to maybe impart to students listening to this? Give them some words of wisdom?
Okay, so just remember, yes, college is going to be stressful. It's going to be harsh. A wave of emotions are going to happen over time during your years in college. But just remember that the college is here to support you. If you're struggling mentally, especially, the wellness service team, amazing group of members are there in the wellness services department to assist you. If you have problems or, questions about your coursework, or you need help with your writing or your APA format, paper formatting, we also have the Learning Cafe on campus for you. They have an amazing team who will be ready to assist you and hopefully improve on some of those writing skills and APA formatting skills. So don't forget to access those resources. They're there for you.
Yeah, well, that's great. We really appreciate that. I mean, students definitely need to take advantage of those resources that are here. The student learning services, wellness services, wherever, peer support, whatever they can get to help, Absolutely wonderful. Well, Adrian, thanks for stopping by and talking to us and giving us a little bit of wisdom and insight that you've experienced. And it's always good to hear from you. And maybe we'll get you back on another one.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So we've talked a little bit about kind of those triggers, but what about some strategies that will work? Thinking about our minds, our bodies, what might we do to kind of alleviate some of that anxiety?
Well, a lot of times when I'm talking to students about anxiety and stress, because they do overlap a bit, one tool that I love to bring up is breathing.
Breathing, yeah.
Because it's something that we have with us always. So even in that test when we can't bring other things with us,
right,
we still have our breath.
We do.
And when we are able to take those really big, deep breaths, moving our diaphragm, that is a way to signal to our brain that we're okay, we're safe.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that anxiety and that stress can bring on that fight or flight response where we can't remember the information that we worked so hard to learn. The brain fog we mentioned earlier. So taking those deep breaths, and probably a few, I'd say like 5 to 7 or 10, can signal to our brain that we're okay, we're safe. And then we can get back to that memory. We can recall and all those things we learned and use our problem solving skills and all that. So,
and deep breathing really does, physically, it gets rid of the stress hormone in your system. So, I mean, that's a great thing. Myself, I can't do it.
Yeah, and it's not for everybody.
Work for me,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
for me, I think grounding exercises like, planting my feet firmly and just concentrating on feeling the ground. Something simple like that can really work.
Yeah, and I like that you bring that up because it's focusing on our senses. So whatever that looks like for us. And again, that's something we have with us always.
Yeah.
So in that testing space where we can't necessarily bring in those other tools that we might have, we can still feel our feet on the floor or the pencil or pen in our hand or the computer keys. We can look around the space, notice things that maybe we haven't noticed before.
Right. Just not your neighbor's test.
Yes, the clock on the wall that you didn't notice before or the sound that the clock makes.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so just really focusing on those senses to bring us back to that moment instead of those racing thoughts.
And even some movement, right? Just in your chair, moving your shoulders back and something like that. Just simple things can really manage anxiety.
Yeah.
Definitely. What about, sleep?
Yeah.
You mentioned that before, right?
Yeah. Sleep is very important. Sometimes as students, we prioritize cramming and staying up late, but recognizing that regular sleep pattern can really help us learn better and then also remember what we've learned. Yeah. So it is really important.
You do have to process that information, right? Yeah. So if you're not giving yourself enough time, you're staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning, your brain's not going to keep it. Yeah. It just won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sleep definitely
very
need
important.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Pomodoro technique?
You know what? I Googled it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did. I think I've known of what it is, but I didn't know what it was called.
Right.
So do you want me to share or you share?
Go ahead. You did the research.
Yeah. So what I found on Google, it is a time management.
It's always accurate, by the way, Google. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. May not be 100% accurate, but it is a time management method when focusing on a task.
Right.
So setting a timer, the Google that came up for me said 25 minutes.
Yep. I think that's usually what they say, right?
Yeah. 25 minutes of focus on whatever task you're doing. And then when that timer goes off, you take a 5-minute break. And you do this 3 more times.
Yep.
So 3 25-minute focused times.
Yep.
And then after that, you take a bit of a longer break. It's just 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's enough time to watch a show.
Yeah. Yeah, like a little YouTube or something. Yeah. Or a bunch of TikToks. But then if you're doing that, set your timer so that you stop.
Let's not do TikTok.
Sometimes that's helpful for people. Yeah.
Yes,
so
definitely.
If it is helpful for you, just remembering to set a timer so you stop in time to get back to whatever you need to do.
Yeah. So basically you're spending focus time, taking a break, spending focus time, taking a break. And again, I think in the same manner that we talk about sleep, it helps our brain process information a lot better that way. right?
Well, and I think too, like, I don't know if this completely fits, but if you've ever been working through a problem and you just cannot figure it out, so finally you give up and you go do something else.
Right.
Maybe it's some menial task like doing the dishes or something, and it just clicks.
Yeah, something just pops in
So
there,
I
right?
think like this Pomodoro technique seems to fit really well with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it totally makes sense, right? Sometimes we can even break, those study goals into kind of those mini wins, kind of micro wins kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're doing flashcards or something and let's say you have 5 flashcards and you get 3 right, hey, that's a win, right?
Yeah.
And we can break our study habits into that as well. Yeah.
And then our support and our self-compassion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So talking to our caring, helpful, supportive people, our friends,
definitely.
even asking our professors
Yeah.
for help.
Yeah, and like we mentioned in that one example, a professor hasn't given you any information on it. We can ask, right?
Yeah, it's okay to ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like one thing with that, really not procrastinating things.
Yeah.
Because if you're asking the professor the day before the exam,
it's a little late.
you may not get the information you want.
Exactly.
So like taking those notes, studying ahead of time is really good because you'll remember it better. But also if you have questions, there's time to ask people and for those people to get back to you because everybody's busy.
Yeah, everybody is. And I think we sometimes feel, in a sense, timid to ask for help. Right?
Yes. Asking for help is really hard.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's admitting that it's vulnerable. It's admitting that we don't know, that we might be wrong.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And even, talking to professors, we can also, reach out for supports on campus. There's lots of different supports.
Yeah.
Here in now it used to be the Learning Cafe, now it's called the Learning Support. I'm not even going to, I don't even, you know what? I don't know. They changed the name. But they're really good at helping students find what they need.
Well, and even like is it academic advising where they can support students in figuring out how to study?
Yeah.
So like coming from like one of our previous episodes, we were talking about coming from high school to post-secondary can be a really big shift.
Very big shift.
So seeking out the supports that are here on campus or in your campus that can help you learn those study skills that maybe you didn't learn prior to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think oftentimes as students, we need to really watch what we say to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of self-talk, we can kind of get tied up into, I'm no good, I failed last time, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
So we got to kind of reframe some of that talking like, okay, I failed last time, but look what I learned now, right?
Yeah.
Look at how much success I've had since then, right? So
or
reframing.
even like the successes we had prior to that one failure.
Right.
Like focusing on that.
Yep.
Or even if that's hard, like focusing on, like you said, what we learned from that failure. Because sometimes as human beings, the best way to learn is to fail.
Exactly.
Those lessons stick a bit harder than some others.
Right. And I think when you get into that idea of learning from failure, you are okay with failing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
well,
not
and I think
anxiety.
I cannot quote, but I know a lot of our great minds in our world now and in our history have talked about how much they failed before they found that success, before they were able to become really popular or like share this really excellent thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So let's try a little of this, try this instead thing. So instead of scrolling through TikTok for an hour, which we talked about, try a 10-minute stretch.
Yeah. Set a timer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you got for us?
Instead of saying I'm so behind, say I'm prioritizing what matters.
Excellent. What about instead of treating rest like a reward, treat it like part of your strategy?
I like that one.
Yeah.
Instead of 3 coffees, 1 glass of water and a deep breath.
The breathing again, right? Definitely.
Yeah.
What about instead of ignoring your anxiety, acknowledge it, name it, and know that this anxiety is not failure.
Yeah. Ooh, instead of keeping it all in, talk to someone you trust, even just for 5 minutes.
I like instead of studying in bed, study in a study zone. even if it's like kitchen table or living room. Don't do it in the bedroom.
No, because then you fall asleep.
Yeah, like as soon as you read those textbooks, and you're out,
Snooze.
right? Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely fell into that.
Okay, so basically, we know that anxiety is okay, right? So anxiety is normal. It's not a failure. We have to know our triggers.
Yeah.
We use some healthy coping strategies and make sure, again, that's healthy ones.
Yeah.
Right? Changing our self-talk, really important. Avoiding that comparison trap that we have and just reaching out for support.
Yeah, all really good tips. Remember, everyone, all of our listeners, you're not alone, you're not broken, and you're doing your best.
Absolutely. And we like to think of all of you out there that you are doing your best. So try one of these tips. Tag us today in social media. Share this episode with a friend, especially before the exam starts. Subscribe, leave a review. Let us know what you think of this.
And remember, you've got this, and we've got you.
Definitely. Have a great day.